Hello, this is the video for the Uart project for CS6204 energy harvesting. This assignment is to get the MSP430 board to print out the words Hello World using Uart. I'm Paisley Code, and my partner for this project is Harrison Williams. Luckily, we can find an example file which does something similar to what we want to do. You can find the example file at this website, and upon downloading it, you can unzip it and find this file shown on screen, and open up in a text editor or just keep track of it for later. So here I'm going to show you how to create your own project. So first I have Hello World right here. This is one that we already created, but I'm going to repeat the process again for the purposes of recording it. So first we'll have File, and then we click New CCS Project. And then since we're using the 5994 board, the MSP31, we'll use MSP430FR family, and then we'll have our specific board right here, the 5994. And for a project name, we'll do Hello World, Worlds, since that we haven't used before. And then we'll create an empty project since we're going to repopulate it with the sample code that we already collected. So next we'll finish and we'll create a new project. So next up we're going to paste our sample code in. And next we need to look at the datasheet in order to know what changes we need to make to this program in order for it to run the way we want it to. So on page 11 of the datasheet for the board, we can see on the bottom right of the square that we have 2.0 and 2.1 being used to refer to the UCA RXD and UCA TXD. So that means that we know that we need to change the port number to 2 instead of 6. And then on page 93, we can actually see in the top row that we're referencing TXD, which is what we're going to use in order to transfer the information using the board. And we can see that the P2SEL1 needs to have a value of 1, and the P2SEL0 bit needs to have a value of 0. So we're going to need to make those changes in our program in order for it to run as intended. So after looking at the data sheet, we know that we need to look at port 2, and that these are both going to be inverted. So instead of it being AND, it's going to be OR with no not, and this is going to be not with an AND here. And that ensures that it follows what the datasheet says. So we'll also need to make another change here. So instead of A3, we're going to need to use something else instead. So on page 11 of the datasheet, you can see that you're actually using UCA0. So we're going to need to change UCA3 to UCA0 all throughout the program. So after looking at the datasheet, we know that A3 needs to be replaced with A0. So if we do Control F, find A3, replace with A0, and then we click Replace All. And I already checked beforehand, there's no other cases where A3 would be needed, so it's safe for us to just do Replace All, and we close it. So now we can actually test our program and see if it does the echo, which this program is supposed to do. So we can click Flash, Hello World, main.c, okay. And then here it's setting up the program. So now we need to open up PuTTY after we finish running our program. So first we look here and then we click Serial. I want to do COM4 since that is where we're connected. You can actually check this by looking at the device manager. We can see that COM4 is where the UART protocol is being executed, at least according to device manager. So I can click Open and we'll see this empty terminal, but if we start typing, now I am intentionally typing 3 of each character in order to see that it works, so we can see that it works as intended. So we can leave that open when we edit the program, and then we'll be able to see what changes. So we were able to get the echo to work, but now we need to get the actual Hello World part to work. So here, what we want is to create a character array, so char hello array equals hello world. And there we have a new line there. And then this part here is what actually has the echo work as intended, so we can actually get rid of this. We don't need this anymore. Unless we wanted to say hello world and also echo every time we type into it, but that might be a bit much. So now we want to have a for loop or a while loop, which will iterate through our string to output the entire string. So here we'll do on int I equals 0 in order to start off with our initial starter character. Now we want to actually create our while loop. So now while hello I does not equal 0, since we want to ensure that it goes until we hit a null terminator. So first you want to check and make sure that our connection is actually active while we're sending transmitting. So here we'll have while UCA0 stat-will and UC busy. This is sort of like a standard phrase used to check, okay, is this still active? Is it still happening? Does it still make sense for us to send these characters through? And will they be received once we send them? So next up, we also want to set UCA0TX buff. This is what's actually going to sort of have it successfully transferred. This is the transfer part. And we're going to set that equal to hello square bracket I, or just hello at index 1, since that is we're going to be looking at it. And then most importantly, we need to iterate through I so that it actually successfully goes through the entirety of the string that we produced. So after doing that, we are going to try running it again. Forgot about that. All right. So now we'll. Then if we look here, we can see hello world. Yay, we have it. It's right here. That is how you use Uart to transfer a message between an MSP430 board and a computer, using PuTTY as a way to interact between the two. I'm not quite sure how to end this otherwise. Thank you. Have a good one.